Hello, everybody. Thanks for those on the replay. We are live right now with Wendy Lane. I'm the guy with the bow tie coming to you live because nobody wants to deal with the coronavirus. So we're going to work online and stay safe right now.
But we're in our safe house.
Yeah, we're in our safe house right now. And I don't mean to take light of that, but just with the way things are going, this is a great way to get some information in the comfort of your home or in your smart device. So right now, the topic today, Wendy, we've been connected for a while, but how long have we been connected? Probably a couple of years, I think.
You know, we've taken our relationship kind of slow. You know.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
I think we've known each other a couple of years, and just lately we've taken it to the next level. But yes, we've been following each other for a while.
Okay, and I'm in Georgia. You're in Arizona. I think I first connected with you when I lived in Nevada. I lived in
Nevada
for about 11 years, so that's probably when I first connected with you.
Right, and I probably lived in Los Angeles at that time.
Oh, so we both moved. Okay.
You've been moving.
Yes, you moved to a warmer place. I moved to a colder place. So I guess there's a logic behind that.
It is literally 85 degrees. Obviously everyone knows that I dress like this anyway, but it's 85 degrees. I have the air conditioning on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, over here it's been raining nonstop for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, so first off, we got a comment already.
With us right now?
Yeah, Kelly Nutt, good friend of mine, Kelly. Hey, Kelly, thanks for jumping on. Kelly's a good fan of personal branding too, but I want to get right into the content so I don't waste anybody's time. So We're talking personal branding. You and I both have a unique brand. Mine was kind of accidental. I want to kind of have you share your story. Like, how did you come up with the sexy chef? Because definitely different on LinkedIn. So how did you come up with the sexy chef?
It is definitely different, but that's the way it should be. We should all be unique, have our own ideas. If we are the same, it'd be really boring. And I got to spice up LinkedIn anyway a little bit. I've been on LinkedIn for a while, and I caught on about 5 years ago when Microsoft took over that it was going to turn into this kind of platform. I was very acutely aware of that, so I really built my audience aggressively on LinkedIn, and I love it. It's a fabulous platform. Met a lot of great people. I've done a lot of real business through LinkedIn. But my brand, Sexy Chef Wendy, is first of all, it's my passion. It's what I love, and that's what I want to get across more than anything today about whatever your brand is, what you're wanting to do. Make sure you have great passion for it and you have a clear message. And my message has always been to bring rekindle relationships, bring love back into relationships through cooking. And I basically, I took the two things in my life that I've felt that I've excelled in and that I've been comfortable with, which are I've been in front of a camera since I was a kid. I was scouted as a teenager. I lived in Arizona. I was taken to New York and Los Angeles and all over the world to model and be in front of a camera. Okay. And I also, at the same time, I grew up with gourmet chefs. I've literally see that countertop behind me. I mean, this is where I feel comfortable in the kitchen. I literally sat on the countertops with my grandmother and mother. We had basically, I'd say a farm to table kind of, gardens in our home, and so it's second nature to me. So I love it, and I used to. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see the table. Can you see the table?
All right, move the banner real quick so people can see the table. Hold on. Let's move the banner.
Well, it's got a great story, and it has so much to do with Sexy Chef because my mother was 22 years old when she married my father, and they were on a very slight budget, and she wanted a dining room table. So she found this table right here at an estate sale, and it actually opens up to seat 12 people. Okay. And so I grew up eating dinner on this table, and literally watching my mother prepare, and I did it alongside with her, but prepare beautiful gourmet meals. And my parents are artists, very eclectic. We always had an array of people sitting at our table. And one thing I always noticed is that, someone could sit next to a complete stranger and break bread together, eat food together, and become intimate and sort of kind of fall in love. And that's how I perceived it as a child. So it's really, I really married the two together. And I'm really so excited that I ended up with this table because of all the memories. But I basically I started my brand maybe like you, kind of by accident. I don't think anything's by accident, but I think if you're open enough and intuitive enough to who you are, things will come your way. What you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do. And I just, I spent a lifetime. Like I said, I've traveled the world. I modeled. I prepared food for everyone. Everywhere I've gone, I've always prepared food.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I lived in these comfy little apartments in Milan as a struggling artist model, I always cooked, and everyone expected that of me. The other part of that is I love to dress up. I love wearing heels. I've always been teased about you're always in the kitchen. You always are wearing heels. But it's kind of fun and it's kind of sexy. It's just what I like to do. I like to dress up, and so hence Sexy Chef was born. It was really kind of that simple. Just people just constantly bringing it up to me about how my food is so beautiful and how I love to prepare food, and you're always so dressed up and engaging with people, and it was really that easy. I kind of dreamt about it in a way and created this brand right here, her.
There you go.
Sexy Chef. Sexy Chef Wendy. I created, I kind of talked about like in a third party, like a character. And it took, it's been about 8 years. It took time for me to develop exactly what that was. And that's the journey. And that's what's really fun about creating a brand and being an entrepreneur, because it's not necessarily going to be one way, it kind of travels in all different directions.
But I want to ask about that. So you said that it was kind of as an accident. So did you decide the name Sexy Chef, or did somebody else say, hey, you're the Sexy Chef kind of situation?
Yes. My girlfriend said, my girlfriend and her friend both said, you're kind of like a sexy chef. And literally,
okay.
if they said that, I was like, oh yeah, I like that. That's kind of fun.
Okay.
And sort of kind of dared me in a way to do that. And so it resonated. It made sense. And then I took it. I literally, when I decided and committed to do this, I told very few people. Almost nobody knew that I was creating the brand. I spent about a year just developing content, pictures, videos. I wrote recipes, and I knew absolutely nothing about social media, zero. I was told, well, the only way you're going to do this is, gain an audience. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. So somebody just sort of guided me a little bit. And I just dove into social media, and it's taken me on a pretty fun journey. It's been amazing.
Awesome. It's funny that yours was accidental, because, my bow tie thing, I've told the story a long time ago, but I would cold call people, and I had to meet them like at a Starbucks or, somewhere to meet them. And when you don't see somebody in person the first time, you're like, well, how will I know who you are? And I would hang up the phone and say, I'll be the guy with the bow tie. And my mentor was like, ooh, the guy with the bow tie, I like that. You should use that. And I was like, really? And total accident. And it's kind of become my calling card. But I think that's the funnest kind of personal branding, in my opinion, when you kind of have a persona that you don't really think about. And it just kind of comes to fruition, I think.
It's right. It's you. It's a personified character. It's me kind of on steroids, I guess, but not really, because it really is everything that I embrace with Sexy Chef it is me. I do believe in everything that I talk about, and it's really, my bottom line message is about love, and that's and I equate and always have love with food. They're two things that we need. They're necessities in life, and it's especially. I just had that amazing opportunity as a child just to watch people eat together and communicate. And before we had, and I'm not going to dish on social media and phones, because I love it. It's helped me tremendously, but it can get in the way when you're trying to get intimate with somebody.
So what do you think was the hardest challenge? Like, everybody's on LinkedIn, like there's other chefs out there. So why do you think other chefs have a hard time developing, making a personal brand for their business?
Why do I think they're having a hard time?
Yeah, just making their own personal brand, because you hear that buzzword a lot, but some people are just like, well, how do I do that? Or what does that mean? So, you made yours from scratch. So what do you think was the challenging part to make your brand from scratch?
honestly, I think you have to run into it fearlessly. You can't look at anything. I don't look at anything like a challenge. I actually look at everything to me as, well, it's brand new, right? I mean, I stepped into this not knowing, so maybe that helped me because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I think the only challenging thing would be somebody standing in their own way. I think that it's really important to network with people. I didn't know anything about, like I said, the branding. So I've never been afraid to ask people or reach out to people that know more than me, which is almost everyone. But I think that you've got to let go of your ego, and you have to be willing to learn and try not to get caught up in that it's a challenge. And I never really thought about what anyone thought about what I was doing. I just loved what I did. And it's fun, and it's a happy, joyful thing. So I also knew, though, I'm not gonna lie, growing up in the industry and in front of cameras and seeing, what works and doesn't to some degree, is I definitely took mine over to the edge. I mean, I'm not, I'm different. And I did that purposefully. So I took it a little to the extreme, but I mean, not really, but kind of, I guess. But I think it at first, when I would come out, people had no idea what I was. They just saw me in lingerie, and I thought that's what I was doing.
Right.
But once they watch me repetitively and they see the recipes in YouTube and the message, and then they realize that there is something behind this, and it was initially to grab people's attention. So
nothing wrong with that. I mean, it works. And the thing about it, though, you have a message behind it. I think people kind of can negatively judge quickly if they just look at your content and say, "Oh, she's just going around modeling." But if they actually stop for a second and pay attention, like, wait, that's actually good looking food. What is that? How did she do that?
Yeah.
So with LinkedIn, there's this weird air of like men kind of go around trying to make it into a dating site. So as a woman that's kind of walking the line, how are you navigating that with your situation?
Well, I think most social media platforms eventually, I mean, there are all those people that think that it's a dating site. I never viewed it that way, ever. So I used to get kind of offended when people would say that. I'm like, this isn't what I want doing this. But overall, I mean, yeah, I do get that. But I think you and I had a conversation about this before. You'd be really pleasantly surprised that I would say most of my followers are really legitimate, and they're interested, and they are engaging about what I do. I do obviously have that come up, and I treat this as my business, and I cherish it and I love it. So as long as I stay there, then that's just what I'm going to resonate. And if people cross the line, I mean, we have these phones that we can block, or we don't have to put up with it. But I would say, I love my fans. My followers, I have them all over every social media platform. Some have followed me from the beginning, and even though I don't know them, I know them. I've engaged with them for years, and oh great, someone's at my door, but I'm not gonna let them in.
Live, you gotta love it.
It's probably maybe a package being delivered.
Right, Amazon, yeah.
Yeah, I think like in life, just in general, you just have to take control of your own life. You can't. People are always going to step over the line. I don't care where it is. You just have to learn how to hold yourself. I obviously do things to protect myself.
Right.
But I haven't walked the dogs, Daryl. I did. So
their protection. That's the protection of the dogs.
They're my guards.
Hey, you got some guard. That's all that matters. Well,
I don't need an alarm system. I have them.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the when you mentioned that with certain industries, personal branding is harder. So, like insurance is kind of hard. Cooking.
I feel like I need to go up and tell them to be quiet.
You can go ahead real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Okay, go ahead, because they're not gonna stop.
Hey.
This is what live is like.
All I had to do was snap.
Well, at least they listen to you. My dog would have still been going, so I got to work at the office.
So you're asking me?
Yeah, some things like personal branding can be difficult. I think if it's like a commodity,
Yes.
Some people watching this might be saying, well, I'm a CPA, or I'm a tax preparer, or I'm just an employee at a restaurant. Why would you stress to them the importance of personal branding in today's day and age?
Well, I think as we talked about earlier, how do you stand out? And we're stepping, well, first of all, we're stepping into a world where everything is on this platform, social media. I mean, stepping back years ago when I was modeling, I didn't have this. So, you had an agent and you went to a job and, people knew you for that. But now everybody has access to this platform, literally
Mm-hmm.
everybody. Anyone can come on and so it's sort of like the one that stands out the most. Find your niche, make yourself unique. Don't try to be like everybody else. I think it is important because we also are dealing with a society that our attention span is, and what do they say now, like 3 or 4 seconds?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right? So, you swipe through everything. And so you have to find something. That's why you see advertising or Geico or things, that have nothing to do with insurance, but they
Mm-hmm.
catch your eye.
Yep.
So, you might say, well, why is she in lingerie? Well, because ultimately my message really is to empower women and to be sexy and fun in the kitchen and to come together as a couple. So there is a reason, but it's also to catch your attention. And so you can do that as long as you have, substantial or the content behind you to back it up.
Yeah.
You must be different. You must.
I think that's the key point you said there.
Pardon me?
I think that's the key point you made there, to make sure the content to back it up, because I feel like Instagram's probably the worst with this. People will, hashtag boss, I'm killing it. And they have all these, pictures of them in front of cars and things, but there's no actual meat to the person. You just see this facade of, okay, I think you're doing well, but I can't really tell what you're doing. So do you think everybody needs it? Go ahead.
Myself in front of like a Pace or an old car or something, just to be funny. I know I see that all the time. I'm like, really? Everybody has a Lamborghini?
Right, and it doesn't make any sense. But at the same time, do you think that people need to have like a character, or can they have personal branding without a character?
They don't necessarily have to. I mean, I created a character, but I think you have to have a personality. You have to do something that is different, because it's only getting fat. TikTok right now is taking over. So people are doing funny things. Everyone wants to see something that's quick and witty and, or eye-catching, beautiful. So I really do. You really do have to do that. You have to learn how to go with what's happening, not try to go against it. My parents could never begin to understand this world. It doesn't make sense, because you just bought advertising and the old-fashioned way, but it's a different world. So I really do believe you have to be a little bit off the cuff. And the other part about the branding and what we're talking about, I mean, this is not overnight. I'm sure you're doing this a while. I've been at this for 8 years. I'm just starting to get paid sponsorships. It's hard work, like everything. It's not just, a quick selfie, because on top of it, I mean, I'm running a catering business. I travel to cook for people. And then I'm creating my brand, content, products. I probably sleep 4 or 5 hours a night. Plus I have to take care of myself. So it's when you're personal branding, you're kind of running a whole company within yourself. And it's a lot of dedication and passion and hard work. So it's anybody out there that I see that's doing it, I have nothing but regard and respect for them, because it takes a lot to put yourself out there, especially today. I mean, we're sitting here live right now. I can't hide behind anything. Here we are. So I think you have to, just embrace the world we're in, and have fun with it though. And don't be so serious all the time.
I think that's the very important thing about this, because LinkedIn, you'll see a lot of, like, most people don't post on LinkedIn, which is still crazy to me. But most of the content is like an article, a white paper. just talking about my day, there's very few people that I think are actually showing themselves of this is just me. This is who I am. And I made that conscious decision a while ago. Like, I like rap. I'm going to rap on LinkedIn. What the heck? And that was literally how it went. I just kept saying, this is a part of me. I want to still do it. I still want to have it in my life, but my business has been taking up time. So I kind of say combine the two. So do you think, like, before you were the sexy chef, were you going through just being a chef for a while and kind of trying to figure out how to make that take off more?
No, that's the funny thing. When I started Sexy Chef, I was, I would say, more on the in front of the camera side.
Okay.
I've always been a chef my whole life. I've
Mhm.
never, but I wasn't pursuing it actively. It came through my brand.
Okay.
It really did. I got called in to do jobs. I was brought to LA to, I mean, I'd already started a catering business on a smaller level, but I was brought to LA to run an entire catering business
Mhm.
based on brand and my food and my plating. I mean, you can't make that up. I am a
Yeah.
chef. I mean, my food is real. You can look at all of that, but it just enhanced that. And
Mhm.
it's that's why I said it's a journey for me. I mean, I'm in discussions and negotiations right now with a group of running a restaurant. I'm definitely in that world.
Mhm.
I'm I'm currently not cooking every single day like I was recently. 14 hours a day running a catering company in Los Angeles was pretty intense, and I learned
Yeah.
so much. Again, another experience of I did things that really challenged me, and I embraced it. Though it was fun, and I was able to build kitchens out of nothing, and I'd never done
Okay.
that before. It was fun. So I think just and that's why you and I resonate too. I mean, we both just kind of go with our instincts, I think, and
Mm.
we're not afraid.
I think
Um,
that's what most people are afraid on LinkedIn. That's what I think. I mean, you look at Instagram, Facebook, they're kind of just put something out. I don't care what it is, just put it out there. But it's definitely a more calculated decision, I think, on LinkedIn, but it probably doesn't need to be. I'm a big fan of Shanae Murray. Most of her content was just her doing the selfie video.
yeah,
It's not like it's nothing produced. And I know you talked to her a little bit too. It's just here I am. I'm at the beach talking about X.
yeah,
And that's worked amazingly well. I mean, shave or bottom. It's just hers is more doctored up, but when you first look at her early videos, it was just her being raw
yeah,
and talking about whatever. So
yeah.
do you think is that something people could learn, you think, to learn that skill set to just say, you know what, I need to just put something out there? Do you think that's a learned skill or kind of a innate behavior?
Well, I think first of all, it takes a lot of courage to do that. Like I said, to put
Mm-hmm.
yourself out there. I think you learn. She's learned over time. It's like when I first began. I'm sure my videos look completely different. Things look different. We go with the times. But I think that it's also once you've stepped into this world, the virtual world, and even LinkedIn, because I get it less now, but in the beginning, people would just attack me. They'd say, this is a business site. And I said, well, I do have a business. I
Mm-hmm.
sell products. I do have a business. That's why I'm here. And the reason why I have never shied away from LinkedIn is simply because, I read what happened with, Microsoft bought LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and it became evidently clear that it was becoming another platform for us to do what we're doing right now. And
Right.
our world is not just made of one kind of business.
Mm-hmm.
You have the need, you have Victoria's Secret out there, you have insurance agents like you, the bow tie, you have that's a rapper. I mean, we're all human. We're not one dimensional. We all have different sides. I mean, you're a
Mm-hmm.
parent, I'm a parent. That's a whole nother side to us. But I think the more you are, and I know, for me, I think the reason why my followers appreciate me, and it's again a lot of work, but I will literally sit for hours and I try to answer as many people as I can on every platform. It's not a bot. I can literally go in and speak to people because I don't have anything if I don't have them.
Yeah.
We're a community, and we have to work together. We have to support each other, and this is what social media is about. And I think that I have several friends on LinkedIn that are outliers that don't care what people say because they're strong people, they have a message and they have a business they're trying to run, and it may not always look exactly like what everyone thinks it should look like.
Well, I can appreciate you taking that effort. I mean, some people use assistants and bots for all their messages and all that, but I'm the same as you. I reply to everything and send voice notes and all that stuff. So I think that's a big piece people forget about personal branding, is that if you're going to go down that route, which you should, when you make a personal brand, you still got to be a person after the content is made.
Right.
You'll make the video, make the post, but you still have to engage people. And I think you commented about making a community. So how much time do you think you're spending on engagement versus content? Do you think it's 50-50, or it's way more on engagement than content?
Yeah, literally as I'm doing the content, I'm engaging. I mean, I would say probably 50-50. And honestly, it's I think it's the most important part of this. I mean, especially, I just really do. And I think that and people recognize it. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, I've had some amazing things come through that. And I've had people open up and tell me things that are really amazing, and it's I think once people feel like they can communicate with you or talk to you and have that trust, that's a whole nother fantastic thing. And I value that. And I have people talk to me about things that are very personal sometimes, and I value it. I respect it. And if I can put myself out there and say too, I've shared some things I've gone through in my life, and domestic violence, things that I've overcome, that I say it, not to wear it on my sleeve, but so somebody can come to me and maybe I can help them. And that's the other part that I think our responsibility is. If you're putting yourself out there, try to make sure that you are really, doing something good for other people.
Yeah, that makes it real. I mean, I think this is the hardest part with this whole virtual world, is that they always say we're disconnecting, we're not this personable, but I think it's because of that one key thing of engagement. If you engage, like I met some great people on LinkedIn that I probably never would have met any other way. But it was that effort, either me or them, they reach out, let's have a phone call, let's talk, let's go have coffee, things like that. That was the original point of social media, was you find people somehow, but then you take it offline. So for people watching this to go, make more engagement, are you doing more so calling people afterwards or meeting up for coffee, or what's your preferred engagement to take things offline?
It's not really safe for me to go meet people, to be honest. I mean, I have a safety aspect to what I do.
Right.
I told you earlier, I have managers and I have people that will vet for me. I can't just go meet people. That would be insane.
Yeah.
As a woman, you can't do that. But I've had real business come through. My hot sauce came through social media. I was telling you, this was a 90-year-old man on Facebook who was a restaurateur in his day. Crazy. And he came to me, and I mean, he's one of my favorite people. That's one of my favorite stories. I think it's amazing that he stayed so current and that he approached me to collaborate with him. So that's an instance where, but there is, I'm not going to lie, there's some vetting that goes through for me to go meet somebody. I can't just go, hey, let's go meet for coffee. But I do engage. I do advise people. I talk about relationships. I talk about cooking, how to make things, just basic things like that. Or just, there's some people that just are lonely. They just want to chat. And honestly, like, it's not like a bunch of creepers, it's real people just wanting to chat and all over the world. And that's what I think is amazing. And I think if you stay consistent and clear that this is what you do, you're business, a professional, then, you're not going to have too much of an issue. But I think it's when I say stay connected, I respond to people. If they ask you a question, anyone can ask me anything about business or branding. And if I know it, I'll tell them, or I'll introduce them to somebody.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Well, that brings an interesting point when people are trying to be social on LinkedIn, you have this epidemic of the sell you something pitch in your DMs. So with your brand, I mean, I know you get your slew of weird guys doing DM messages, but how do you handle the people that are like, instead of having a personal brand, I'm going to automate and send messages to all these people to buy stuff? How are you personally kind of dealing with that epidemic on LinkedIn right now?
The epidemic of them private messaging me for my product.
Well,
Is
no,
that what
just
you're saying?
to sell you something. Like, I know for your product, you're like, yes,
Oh,
keep it coming.
well, I don't. Maybe I'm like a speed reader now with LinkedIn with all of it. I can kind of there's words you can pick up. You can tell when you're being solicited. I mean, I can.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. You can only do so much. I mean, if it's something that I want, yes, I will. I'll be interested, and I appreciate that people are doing that because obviously they're there for a reason, for their business. But
Mm-hmm.
the other reason why you want to go through messages, if you're a brand into branding like myself, is that is where I get paid sponsorships. People that want me to promote their products. So if I'm not, that's how they reach out to me. Mostly
Yeah.
through Instagram, sometimes through LinkedIn. But I can honestly tell you, I've had multiple situations in LinkedIn that have translated directly into business, and I've become friends with a few people first through business with my manager, and I have a team of people around me. I never show up. By the way, I never show up alone.
Yeah.
But I just and have had really meaningful relationships and business dealings come through. So that is really the main reason why it's, also if you're using this as a business to grow, that you stay connected. But don't always just make it about yourself. It's you got to take. You can take, but you got to give, and that should be your number one thought. What can I give? What can I bring to the plate?
Do you think you've had a better return on, personal branding or messages? Like, would you say there's a better chance of selling through you being yourself and personal branding, or a slick script?
Me being myself.
Awesome.
1,000%. I mean, always, and I believe in my products. I believe in what I do. I love it. I think it comes across. I genuinely want to make people smile and be happy. That is always my goal in life. It's supposed to be like that. And I believe in what I do. So it comes across that way. And I think anybody that's dealt with me or try my product, again, I can talk about it, but once you try it, that's really the real test. I'm sending you some. You can come back.
Yay! I will let you know. I love hot sauce.
This habanero mash hot sauce, but I put it out here because this product I sought out this partnership, but the hot sauce came directly through social media, and it's my favorite product. It's fun, and we created a character, and it's like hot sauce is kind of like baseball in America. Everybody loves hot sauce. Everyone loves baseball. Yep. There's so many hot sauces on the market. It's insane, but it's fun. It's a great product, and and I have fun promoting it. It's hot and spicy, and it kind of goes alongside what I'm talking about. But I think the more genuine you are in life and true to who you are, it comes across. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I could definitely say in the last year is kind of when I kind of decided to do more on LinkedIn in a different kind of way, because I was guilty of having a ton of connections, but very little engagement. I just wasn't being myself, messaging people. I would just kind of do the happy birthday, like that, congratulations, like that. There was no substance to it.
Where it says happy birthday and you push send?
Yeah, I was that guy for a long time, because to me it didn't make sense like to go through all that. But ever since I've been doing, I send people voice notes for their birthday. Like, I made myself a new job. Every new connection I get, I send a personalized voice note. Every birthday I see, I send a personalized voice note. And if I see a job change, then it's relevant, I'll usually send them a voice note too. So every day I'm probably spending, sending 20 to 50 messages to people. And that's definitely got to be a bump in my LinkedIn and make me feel better about what I'm doing. I'm communicating more people. So it's work, but like you said, it's just, you're the personal brand. It's all you, and they know it's me.
But what isn't work in life, right? Everything is work.
Yeah.
And if you want to achieve anything, you have to work. And it's like relationships, and you have to work at it. So if you were out there as a door-to-door salesman, you're going to go out and you're going to hand the person your card, shake their hand, get to know them. We don't live in that. Well, I guess that still occurs a little bit, but we're in a different realm now, and we can reach people all across the world. And
Yep.
I love that. I love that I have friends all over the world. It's amazing. And, you know, especially in the culinary world, I have chefs that follow me and I follow them from literally all over the world. And my dream would be able to just buy a ticket and travel for the next few months and go meet all of those chefs and cook with them, because it's so much fun to collaborate with what they're doing. And that's the other wonderful thing about all of this, is that kind of, whatever field you're in, connecting with other people that are doing the same thing and getting their ideas and giving them accolades for their beautiful food and plates and, you know, the way they do. And the thing about like being a chef, there's no one way, really. There's a
yeah, absolutely.
Right? Did we not have one question?
I had some comments from Stacy DeMarco. She said hi. That's a friend of mine here. I think your people in Arizona are still working, so they're like, I gotta check this when I get done.
I know. I'm sorry. I messed up the time. I tell that was as we said earlier, I sort of morphed it into a different time. I don't know how I did that, but
it's totally fine. We'll do a redo at a later date. Do a redo as well. But with LinkedIn Live, you never know. That's kind of the way the world is. I've done this for a while, and I say if 5 of y'all watch this, I'm happy, because that's 5 people that weren't paying attention to me yesterday.
Exactly.
One last thing I'm gonna have you leave the people with. So you mentioned catering, you mentioned product. So kind of share with the people. Let's start with product first. What are the products you're putting out in the market right now besides the hot sauce?
Well, right now, my personal products are the hot sauce, and I have a chocolate strawberry balsamic. I have a whole other line of balsamics behind it that I've created. These are my strongest products. Chocolate strawberry balsamic. It's beautiful, unusual, but people really enjoy. And then I'm stepping into some endorsements that you'll see in the next week or two. I can't really say it yet. I'm just literally by next week I'll be coming out with those products as well, around cooking and food. But and then I have, you know, of course, my catering business. I do fly all over to do personal events. My Chef Wendy's Kitchen website showcases all of my food and my catering.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've got Sexy Chef Wendy and Chef Wendy's Kitchen. I'm the same person, but, you know, when I was doing the catering every day, I didn't really want people just looking at my pictures. I wanted them to look at my food. So
right.
Chef Wendy's Kitchen and I also, you know, I have a couple Instagram pages. One, again, that's the other thing. That's my strong brand is Sexy Chef Wendy, but I also have Chef Wendy Lane that is only my food, but my followers are seeing my brand a certain way.
Okay.
So I that's another thing, you know, don't be shy about that with branding yourself. You know, you can have a couple of accounts on, especially like Instagram and Facebook.
Yep. Well, I had to get your help on that. I'm only on LinkedIn right now. I was thinking about TikTok, but I got to figure out what I got to do with that before I open up that page.
I have to ask you that question. I know I do have TikTok, and everyone's telling me to do it, and I just have to get a little bit funnier like you. But I think you would do really great on TikTok.
Well, it's a consideration. I've thought about it because I like doing video, but I got to figure it out. But I love live because live is raw. There's no editing. It's just you got the dogs barking. Whatever's gonna happen live.
Oh, I know, it's lovely, isn't it?
But
I just snapped and they stopped.
But one last thing before we get out of here, because I know Wendy has stuff to do. If you're in the Atlanta area on March 30th, and this is now, Wendy, in your area, have they ever had a LinkedIn event in person?
No, not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay, you might want to. Suzanne Spainer, she watched it, but she had to jump out of it. Suzanne Spainer is a meeting matchmaker. She helped set up LinkedIn Meetup ATL here in Georgia, where connections meet in person. It's purposely designed on LinkedIn connections come to an event in person. Powerful event. If Arizona hasn't had one, reach out to her. She's helped collaborate for here and for New York. It's awesome. That's how I met Shanae in person. I met several people in person that way, and it makes it more real. So maybe after this, we can help you set up a Arizona LinkedIn meetup or something like that. Scottsdale, maybe. I don't know.
Brilliant. I think it's brilliant. Then everybody comes out, sort of like coming off the pages into real life. And
yes, it's awesome.
It's a wonderful way to collaborate. It really is.
It's funny when I was pulling into the parking garage and somebody I connected with maybe like 2 weeks before that was walking across the street and she saw me and she's like, "Oh my God, it's you!" Because we had never spoken at all in person, so she just recognized my picture, like, "Oh, you're you." So it's important to have your picture be up to date before you go to these events. If you get into picture from 20 years ago, it might not work, but.
Oh yes, 100%. I always tell people people recognize me quite a bit. I don't want to look any different, in person than because that could be a real problem. But represent yourself, who you are as you are. Be happy with that because everyone's just perfect the way they are anyway, and you have to embrace that. Don't try to live in the past. It will not benefit you. Just be yourself. So important.
Yep. So we're gonna have the LinkedIn Meetup AT on March 30th. Suzanne will probably comment the location. I forgot where it is, top of my head, but March 30th from 6 to 9:30. And if you're in Georgia that around, then come on down. It might be a good event for you.
I'd love to meet you, Gerald. It'd be so fun.
Let's set it up, but I'll let y'all go. This will be on YouTube as well as on LinkedIn later on. Thanks for joining us for Business with Benefits.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.